Hello, good afternoon everyone, and welcome once again to another lecture of this self-knowledge course. Today we'll be studying topic number 30 entitled Method to Awaken Consciousness, the two consciousness, objective and subjective. Today we'll be learning how consciousness is divided and what is the method to release and awaken it. We will learn how we can truly become awake and conscious beings. Many people associate being awake because they supposedly know that they are in a matrix, and many conspiracy theories are known. Theories that are part of a sleeping paranoid consciousness that believes it is awake. Then we will begin by explaining what is objective and what is subjective. When we talk about objective, we are talking about something that fulfills the purpose for which it was created. We also refer to something real regardless of what we think, feel, or believe. It is the true, the immutable. It is that which has a conscious goal. Contrary to the subjective, which depends on one's own opinions, beliefs, feelings, desires, and does not have a conscious goal. So, we have two types of consciousness, the objective and the subjective. The subjective consciousness or subconsciousness corresponds to that 97% of essence trapped and bottled up by our psychological defects or the ego. It is our trapped soul, which is made of energy, and the objective consciousness comprises the 3% of free consciousness that cannot be trapped by the defects, and it is our spirit made of light. Obviously, the essence or consciousness bottled between each eye is processed by virtue of its own conditioning. This means that the defect conditions the trapped essence and uses its strength or virtue at will. Only with the death of the ego is the essence released. Any disintegrated eye releases a certain percentage of consciousness. The emancipation or liberation of the essence or consciousness would be impossible without the disintegration of each eye. The greater the number of disintegrated eyes, the greater the self-consciousness. The smaller the number of disintegrated eyes, the lower the percentage of awakened consciousness. The awakening of consciousness is only possible by dissolving the I myself, dying in oneself, here and now. Unquestionably, while the essence or consciousness is embedded between each one of the eyes that we carry within us, it is asleep in a subconscious state. It is urgent to transform the subconscious into the conscious, and this is only possible by eliminating the eyes, the defects, the ego. Okay? It is not possible to wake up without having previously died in oneself. Those who try waking up first to die later, they do not have real experience of what they affirm. They march certainly on the path of error. Newborn children are wonderful. They enjoy full self-awareness. They are fully awake. Within the body of the newborn child, the essence is reincorporated, and that gives the creature its beauty. We do not want to say that 100% of the essence or consciousness is reincorporated in the newborn, but the free 3% that it is not bottled up among the eyes. However, that percentage of free essence reincorporated between the organism of the newborn's children gives them full self-awareness, lucidity, etc. Adults see the newborn with pity. They think that the child is unconscious, but they are unfortunately mistaken. The newborn sees the adult as he really is, unconscious, cruel, perverse, etc. The eyes of the newborn come and go. They go around the cradle. They would like to enter the new body, but since the newborn has not yet manufactured the personality, all attempts of the eyes to enter in the new body, it is more than impossible. Sometimes the babies are frightened when they see those ghosts or defects that approach their crib, and they start to scream, to cry. But the adults do not understand this and assume that the child is sick or that they are hungry or thirsty. Such is the unconsciousness of adults. As the new personality is being formed, the eyes that come from previous existences are penetrating little by little in the new body. When the totality of the eyes has reincorporated, we appear in the world with that horrible interior ugliness that characterizes us. Then we become sleepwalkers, always unconscious. It is good to know that the 3% of free consciousness after the personality is created, although it is not trapped by the ego, falls asleep and becomes fascinated with the things of the personality, and there are few who later listen to the call of the consciousness again. That 3% of free consciousness, it is our guide and knows exactly the path to self-realization, but to do so, it must be awakened. When we die, 3 things go to the grave: the physical body, the organic vital fund, and the personality. The vital background gradually disintegrates in front of the burial pit as the physical body also disintegrates. The personality, which could be subconscious, managed by the characteristic defects of that personality, or infraconscious, a personality managed by defects awakened in evil, it goes in and out of the grave whenever it wants. It is happy when the mourners bring it flowers, it loves its relatives, and it dissolves very slowly until it becomes cosmic dust. As it is an energetic vehicle, it feeds on the energy provided by bereaved relatives through their memories and suffering, reaching a point at which they can even materialize. Those are the so-called ghosts. With the death of the physical body, the ego does not die. It continues beyond the grave. The ego, the pluralized I, myself, a bunch of devils within which the essence is trapped, the consciousness. At its time, it returns and reincorporates itself in the next existence of the person, in the body of the child, as it is creating the personality. If it is that the person has not exhausted his 108 existences. The above allows us to observe that we must do 2 different jobs. The first thing will be to awaken the 3% of objective consciousness, and to wake it up, we must first begin to work with the 3 factors for the revolution of consciousness: psychological death for the elimination of the ego and the liberation of the trapped essence, spiritual birth to create the existential bodies of the being and fixing that released essence in our spine, and sacrifice for humanity to develop selfless love for humanity and generate merits to do the job. Also, we have to transfer the center of gravity, which is currently in the personality, towards consciousness. We will do this by taking time away from the things of the personality and giving it to the things of the consciousness. Until then, our entire existence revolves around consciousness. Finally, we have to get out of the fascination in which our personality put us with the things of the world and realize that all this is an illusion, and the only transcendental thing is the path that leads us to self-realization. We must work to eliminate all those concepts that root our personality, as we explained in conference number 15. The second thing we'll do is to release and awaken the 97% of subconsciousness. This implies dying in oneself, following these steps. First, self-observation. Looking into our inner world made up of our thoughts, feelings, sensations, and desires in order to discover the different defects that are manifesting. Second, the prosecution. Each discovered defect must be judged until it is fully understood through reflection and meditation. This understanding is the wisdom that is extracted from the defect. And finally, the elimination, begging our particular Divine Mother to eliminate this defect from us. With this phrase, Divine Mother, remove or eliminate this defect from me. Let us remember that the Mother is part of our consciousness, is part of that 3% of free consciousness. She represents the force of love and fulfills the function of cleaning us from our defects. So, we recommend this practice to focus consciousness in the here and now. It is called the soul clue. It consists of dividing attention into 3 parts: subject, object, and location. During the day, and in the most conscious way possible, we have to ask ourselves, who managed me? Which defect is managing me? To know what is the subject or ego that is manifesting through us. Then we must ask ourselves, what does this I do? What is he doing? What is he doing it for? Or why is he doing it for? To know what the defect, goal, or motivation is. And finally, we ask ourselves, in what center of the human machine is this defect acting? Will it be the sexual, the instinctive, the emotional, mental, or motor center? This practice helps us to wake up in the moment and be able to identify the defect, its motivation, and its way of manifesting itself through us. And remember that each little detail that we observe, we must ask our Divine Mother to eliminate it. Also, keep this in mind. When we free the subjective consciousness trapped in the defects, we convert it into objective consciousness. This is how consciousness is truly awakened. And well, thank you for joining us for today's conference. If you have questions, you can leave them in the comments and they will be answered. We invite you to the next conference next Thursday entitled Mechanical Creatures. We are going to understand what makes us mechanical creatures and how we can get out of the mechanicalness in which we find ourselves. Thank you very much. Until next time. Bye.